values and principles are very goal-oriented student athletes. And like I told somebody before, not every athlete's going to come here thinking he was going to be the next Rhodes Scholar. Some will, some won't. But what's wrong with getting them here and educating them and creating a better life and situation for them? We all have. I never liked school better than I like ball. But I always knew I had to have one to have the other. And that's the kind of guys we want to have. Because I always say this, boys do what they want to do, men do what they got to do. There's things you have to do in your life you may not like, but it takes you to where you got to go. And that's the kind of young man we want. And when we're here, the key to me now, and the key to our program, in my opinion, is the support systems which we build around it. It all comes down to the way you view the word performance, in my opinion. I believe this means much more than the physical components we all talk about performance. We must build a comprehensive program that deals with all aspects of performance, from academic, to mental, to physical, to nutritional, to social interaction and personal interaction. Because all of these directly impact each other. And the good thing about them, they're all areas that we can educate in. We wonder why an athlete is not doing well, he's not doing in school, he's not doing this. There's so many other, it's not just the academic issue he's having, it's not just the physical issue he's having. They're all facing a different set of problems. Core values, home values. Some of them never grew up with a father. Probably 50% of the guys today never grew up with a father. Coach Bowden says that all the time. Where are they going? We must be that support system for those kids. And we have to build it. We're going to put as big an emphasis on mental conditioning as we do physical in our program. Because you don't need to be sick to get better. The old philosophy in coaching was getting all your players to think more of you, the coach, to get your point across. Our belief and desire is to help our players feel better about themselves and what they can accomplish. Empowered, confident athletes are winners. You hear Coach Saban talk about it all the time. Process-oriented thinking as opposed to outcome-oriented thinking. Sometimes you want to win so bad you don't know how to win. My goal is to get the structure, the staff, and the support resources in place to facilitate a winning plan and get players into the structure and start affecting change now. How they think, how they walk, how they talk, how they breathe, and all aspects of the way they do things. We've told our players, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. We can be better. We will be better. We expect to be better. And we provide the athletes with the tools to be better. We must change within this building as much as our athletes change on the field. We want to build ambassadors at this university. We want to build people who this university is proud of and that we can send out into society. That when we go out to recruit or we go out to sell Florida State University in every aspect of the university, call so-and-so and ask him if it didn't happen that way. Call Christian Ponder and ask him. Call E.J. Manuel and ask him. Call Jermaine Thomas and ask him. Call Nigel Bradham and ask him if it didn't happen. We not only want to build ambassadors to this school, we want to build them for the community. And I think the interaction in this community, we tried to get into that last year a lot more. And the infrastructure in this community, we can help this community a lot more than we do. And I think trying to get our guys not only to understand this part of it, but what's out there and how they're perceived, and the perception that our athletes are perceived with, and the respect that they're perceived with, and get them to interact with our community a lot more. We have a great opportunity here at Florida State right now. Athletes want to be here, and we've shown in the past few years we can beat anybody. Now the goal is creating the structure that provides the tools to sustain quality performance, to know and know that we know, so we can repeat it. History is our greatest teacher, always will be. We've proven we're not asking to do things that have never been done here before. We're just asking to go back where they should be. With a little bit of hard work, as an old guy used to tell me, the secret to success, there is no secret. The secret to success is hard work. Have your plan, be yourself, do what you think's right, do what got you here. That won a guy 389 games. Hopefully it'll win me a bunch. Hopefully it'll win me a bunch. Anybody have any questions? This is easy. Y'all usually raise your hand like crazy. Got 38 questions.
Coach, you talked about affecting change. With the fact that you've been here for 3 years, what dynamic does that create? It's a little different than coming in fresh.
It helps me because I know the problems. When you first come in and you ain't never been somewhere, the hardest thing in creating change, before you change, you have to know the problem to find the answer. I understand, in my opinion, what some of the problems are, what we have to change, and I mean from structurally to individually, as each individual player and each individual situation. You know, and I think that's been, I've said this before, you know, we've been criticized about the head coach and waiting things. From my perspective now coming in here, I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, I've been to new places as an offensive coordinator, as a coach, and I know just as an assistant coach, it takes you 3 to 6 months to figure out what the heck's going on in each individual player that we're responsible for. Now, as the head coach, with all the aspects of every program, especially in today's time, this has been tremendous, and it's going to allow our change to happen a lot quicker, in my opinion.
Coach, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be as you take this on?
You know, to go to the future, in other words, keep embracing the future and respect the past and understand the change is inevitable and that we have to do things in a different way. And I think what I've been very excited about is our administration and our AD and our assistant ADs and all the support system around, I think, understand that. And I think it's been a tremendous help. And I think it won't be as big a challenge as it could have been if you're coming in without, you know, anybody understanding what you want and how you want to do things. Our administration's been, and all over through the whole university, from everybody that touches us, has been tremendous. And I think it's hard to change, in my opinion, when you've had success for so long. You know what I'm saying? And when it's new, it gets people out of a comfort zone. They've done things so well, you know, the same way for so long. But of course, they know me as loud as I am anyway. They understand I want to change anyway. Yes. Ready?
Could you just talk about the new staff you had? You got real young, real quick with this staff. Just talk about what they bring and the energy and excitement you have working.
You know, we've hired all the coaches. I'd like to announce them right now. I'll announce our full staff right now. On the offensive side of the ball is our assistant head coach, offensive line coach. In my opinion, the best in the business is Rick Trickett. As our new offensive coordinator will be James Coley. As our new receivers coach, or not new receivers coach, but our new passing game coordinator and receivers coach is Lawrence Dawson. Our new quarterbacks coach will be Damian Craig, and our new associate head coach, running back coach, and special teams coach will be Eddie Grant. On the defensive side of the ball, Mark Stoops, who I'm very excited about, is our defensive coordinator. Our assistant head coach on defense and linebackers coach is Greg Hudson, coming from East Carolina. Our D-line coach is Odell Higgins. And our defensive ends coach will be DJ Elliott. That will be our new staff.
Is he the recruiting coordinator?
That will be determined. That will be determined. That will probably be determined between DJ and Damien in the future, which way we go with that title right there. I gotta have a second take a breath.
But how excited are you about these guys?
Extremely, because you know, I've said this before. I think at Florida State, there's no reason to have a guy who can coach you think who is a great coach, an average recruiter, or an average recruiter is a great, vice versa. I think we have great coaches, great recruiters, great energy, and great chemistry. I think we've got a positive guys until we're all there, but I enjoy sitting in that room. I think we have the same goals, principles, values, and that's why you go through the interview process. I think we've all came up in the background. Everybody's had a lot of success. No one thinks they invented it. And we're all willing to go out and work and do what we have to do and get the big picture thing. We have a lot of coaches. I've been on some staffs that, you have some very good coaches, don't always understand the big picture of what you're trying to do. They understand the real world, which is good. I think on this staff, which I'm very fortunate, we have a lot of guys who get the big picture thing. I think that makes it a lot easier with changes, coaching, recruiting, the whole aspect of things. We have a lot of bright young coaches. I think, you know, Vincent will be very good stars in this business.
Jimbo, how do you perceive your own role then with the quarterbacks and also?
I will still coach. I will still coach, but you know, there's going to be some administrative things which I do, and